Alright, I want to be sure if we are all back online, so if you can drop me a text, I will appreciate that. And if you've done that by updating me, can you also just help out with the Discord? Alright, thank you. Alright, since we are all there, and so I will proceed. Alright, so I'm starting with we had the fundamental that came out, and we have multiple trades went to hit break even, and which some of them were already taken as a trade. And so let me start from CAT CHF. So CAT CHF does move to the lower side with an aggressive sell trade and trying to retest previous low. So the expectation is to find out how to push back this price to the upside. Well, by looking for a buy trade. Now, if we look at the daily time frame, we said that it's been trying to look for a possible continuation to the downside. But in situation like this, I do believe that we are having a sweep to the downside. So the recent trade that was taken was on the upside for a possible breakout to the upside, but the market chooses to push out and break out, and so therefore what I'm looking forward to is to apply a counter and look for a possible buy trade from this low level. So with the NFP fundamental that came out that dragged the price to the downside, so the expectation is that we will be having situation like this anyway. So I realize that NFP is coming, and we know that market has been slowed down for days now, so there has to be a reason. So, and that's why I mentioned days back that we should all be ready. Yes, the chameleon I am going to explain. I just want to go through my analysis first, and I will go through that. So are you with me? Just put in yes in the chart about the chameleon, and I will go about that later. Alright, So having said that, I will be looking to getting a new opportunity on CAD-CHF at this time. So I'm going to navigate through other time frame and see what sort of price action do they have, overall, and just trying to visually see the price bar setup itself, and knowing that I'm having a correlation with what I like to see, so I'll prefer to looking for a possible buy trade to the upside for CAD-CHF. Now, so based on what I'm looking at with all time frame with CAD-CHF, knowing that yes, we've been a downtrend and market is trying to take advantage of movement to the upside, but CAD-CHF has been latent. We had a CAD fundamental earlier this week, I believe middle of this week, and nothing actually happened. Nothing happened with the fundamental so far. So with that reaction, I do believe that there was something that is missing, and to believe it was actually this very movement here of a fundamental. Alright, so CAD-CHF is a done deal with my decision that I will execute a buy trade. So I will start with a little lower size, and then I will accumulate it to balance the ratio back at some point later today, maybe in the next 1-2 hours. I would like to see other time frame closes and to look for movement correlations before I had more trades. That my overall decision is that I am expecting price to take a small push to the downside and a possible buy trade to the upside. So this is a sweep that is happening currently, so we don't want to fall for it, and this sweep can leave its mark over the weekend and take a quick sweep to the downside on Monday and pushes back up immediately. So you know the drill. Some of you might have witnessed that before. So now Euro CHF is the other one that I'm in already. If you notice, I had few break even that was triggered, but of course I had a buy limit already that I was set, that I wanted it to come down to trigger me, just as CAD-CHF did. I did not put on CAD-CHF because I was still not very clear if it's gonna come down or not, but I was hoping that Euro CHF will come down, but it's the opposite. So it's still still, but I still look forward to if it can come down. So it will trigger my break even from previous trade that I took, but whereby I'm expecting it to rise back up. Yet if it chooses to go back up here now, I will look for continuation. As we can see, I've been having a rising higher low. Okay, so I will leave this for now, and since there is nothing else to do other than just wait for price to make another approach to the upside before looking for continuation. Yet there is previous trade that is running, and plus pending order that is available to be triggered if possible. Now GBP NZD is another trade that I do activate a sell limit, and yet market came closer to the sell limit yesterday but did not trigger it. So I was believing in this opportunity that this is gonna trigger, so I'm looking forward to next week hopefully. Yet there was a pending order that I did mentioned early this week and last week that we should look at from the bottom. I have deleted that pending order. I repeat, I have deleted that pending order. So, and the reason is because I saw price has gone to the sell limit order, so that's the one I'm having right now. But the buy limit I have deleted. I repeat, please. So if you still have yours on, you should understand that that is on your own risk, because I have deleted mine. So I will wait for price to do its thing, and I can look for a new my sell trade can trigger, my sell limit can trigger for possible sell trade to downside. The market looks like it wants to take an approach to the upside when we look at the way it's moving right now. But I do also believe that we may be looking at a possible fake breakout and before market pushes down. Okay. Now, GBP card is another trade that I would all my pending orders are triggered, and the previous ones will be triggered as well, just as we have predicted that this is going to happen. So I'm looking forward to that, and what I'm going to do is to activate my stop losses at some point. Well, my options here is that I do want GBP with GBP card anyway to push it to the lower side after this volatility momentum fundamental. Yeah, so the fundamentals create sort of aggressive movement as usual, and so could be triggering and especially hunting orders in, and so we should be aware of that. So going in with a lower lot size has helped with this price to be running in favor for a couple of days, so before it comes back to profit. Yeah, and of course stop loss will be recalculated and will be placed at some point. And Euro card is another trade that we put a pending order. So I do know that this ascending triangle will be triggered anyway. So I wasn't expecting the buy trade to be aggressive. I was expecting that it would just be normal movement, but of course it was aggressive, which this ascending triangle to buy, and that is why I have set my pending order to split my pending order to this line and then to this line here yesterday during this session. So if the video is still there before it's going to be deleted, so you can have a look at that. So the opportunity is to allow price to trigger, and now price is triggered. So the situation we're having here is to allow price to do what most traders call stop hunt. And so, but however, our pending order is waiting for it at that territory, and of course I could have bought that trade to the buy side, but at the same time I can be clear, just as what market has done with Euro CHF, that I was expecting to come down, but it refuses to come down. So sometimes trader would feel like, okay, is the market actually seeing my order, or is it just me, or is it just everybody? So situation like this can happen, and so you need to understand that consistent confidence is the key, and knowing that you are in the right place, and try to put a proper risk management involved, and so that even when the market is running against you, you are still okay. JPY, I haven't discussed too much about it, so I'll flip the rest to GBJPY is ranging and nothing has happened so far, so there is no sign yet for me to go in, but I'm still looking at a possible opportunity here for GBJPY that we might be looking at a sell trade, although we have a possible rising momentum here that might end up in a buy trade anyway. So I'm looking at this opportunity here. So it could be just be that we are waiting for price to break out from this range, and before you know, we are long gone again. And in this situation, we will have a constant channel up, so which will look like this. So this is how I do foresee GBJPY maintaining its momentum to the upside, but there has to be a barrier that is going to break through. So we need to be aware of this movement here for GBJPY. So GBJPY might decide to come down first, take a sweep to the downside, and before it takes that approaches to the upside. Yet it can also be immediately. So I'll keep an eye on it just to be sure that we are able to get into this trade for a buy trade. And for now, there is no trade. And if I see a reason why there should be a pending order at the lower side, I'll go ahead. USD JPY, I discussed this yesterday. I did mention about this ascending triangle. In fact, I did mention about this very movement that we have here, that it is likely that price might come back down again and before we sweep to the upside. And currently is doing exactly what I have mentioned, so it's on a beautiful side. So my expectation now is to possibly start looking for how I can buy this trade to the upside, or I can wait for it to come back to my port of entry before I buy, port of breakout before I look for that buy trade to the next resistance. So, but I'll keep an eye on it and see what the reaction will looks like at this low. But if it does meet your criteria, then start looking for how you can jump into this trade. But for me, I will wait and see later, because I have many pairs to look at and other things to do. I will definitely come back to it and have a look and see what I can do with USD JPY. Euro JPY, nothing yet so far. So just like GBP JPY, I'm still gonna wait a little bit. And then so we have silver, which is still a buy trade, continuous buy trade to the upside, and that created a ranging for a few days. But eventually, there is a chance that we are looking at a continuation buy trade here to the upside, as we mentioned before earlier this week. But right now it's testing the previous high and to create a new breakout to the upside. So my decision here still lies on bullish momentum. So there is a chance that we might even get a more bullish momentum next week for silver, which is XAG USD, and gold itself, XAU USD, is also in the same ratio. There is a continuation buy here that we need to continue to look at here. So I'll wait to see how we can take advantage of this. Next week I would look for a possible intraday buy trade, but this week the expectation is that we might get a short sell. However, there is a chance that we will be buying back up as well. So during the session, I highlighted a area where I expect a price should buy to the upside, but price chooses to stay within the range, and before you know, we saw a push to the upside, and later it was a retest. So in this case, I think it was around here that we had this movement on I think it was on Wednesday or so. Yeah. USD card still maintaining its range, but it would like to go upside for a possible retest of this movement correction of this downtrend that it's created over the time. And now the USD fundamentals might have created that opportunity. At the same time, for me, I do not see the strength in the USD at all, but of course that might not affect the currency as that much as I would be expecting, but maybe just will affect the commodities. But for me, the USD is, I think it's on the weak side really, because the USD shouldn't be functioning well as much because of the other reasons that I've mentioned in the past anyway. But I'll keep an eye on it, so I will have to look at it properly, because I would like to get into the long-term sell trade. But if there is opportunity for a buy trade, of course I would like to jump on it for a short-term swing. But for now, I do not see reason why I will be jumping in a USD card. So it was something that will take a minute to look at, and just to be sure of what we're doing here. But the price is rising, so there is a chance that we might be looking at a possible buy trade here. Although I haven't got any notification from my buy as well, so there is no need to continue to look for a buy yet. Euro GBP, I also been closing some profit, and of course we do have some break even, but there is still trade running for Euro GBP, but I do also set another pending order around that area of my entry, so it's overlapping on top of my previous orders. And my decision is that I do want to see the price pushes to the upside and retest this zone here, but nothing has happened so far. Nothing has happened, so I'm looking forward to see if we could get this movement maybe next week, hopefully, and before we now start seeing that massive sell to the downside. But if not, if market chooses not to return to that area, that's fine, and market chooses wants to sell straight away, that's fine too. But I would prefer to take an advantage of market going to this high price before selling to the downside. Euro GBP is one that is in my radar, and NZUSD is another one that is on my radar that I would be looking to jump on in the trade. In fact, I will start looking for opportunity in NZD-CHF, NZD-USD as well. So that needs to happen from today. But I do respect the fact that we are at a high price now, so there might be a chance for movement to the upside. So, but to be all fair, I am starting to prepare myself to trade NZD USD to the upside, so looking for that opportunity. So we just saw a break to the downside based on previous movement, and what we saw was that the market created the NZUSD created a lower highs, and so which becomes a channel down anyway. So now I'm expecting it to range for some minute, and before we see a push to the upside. But if I look at my 4-hour, yes, been having that range already, and but I'm not satisfied enough with the range, so I'm looking for a small retest and price to be outside this channel down, and before I will go into for that buy trade. So I'm waiting to see that, but so it's like we're getting ready for a possible push to the upside on NZD USD. So NZD USD will be in part of my list in regards to Euro GBP that I mentioned, GBP card, GBP NZD, Euro NZD, Euro card, Now AUD USD did create a nice move to the upside, but I haven't been looking at to jump on AUD USD yet, but it does create that move, so that one was a miss. But GBP USD is part of my trade that I would like to trade, and finally GBP USD came back up to the upside, and it did not hit our pending order at the lower side that we wanted to hit, but instead GBP USD went ahead and pushes over to the upside, and it's likely that it's now going for our target that we mentioned previously. And so if you notice what we've had here, we had a sort of a flag structure in place that has now been triggered. So, and that will create a possible buy trade to the upside to trigger this this buy trade. So what we need to do, or what I need to do, is to ensure that I'm holding on to this trade. At some point when GBP USD get to this high, we will have some challenges, but that is where we will now be looking for a new opportunity to jump on for this target to hit. Anyway, after this target hit, we can now be thinking of maybe a possible sell trade, but there is a chance. I mentioned earlier that if you noticed last week, I think I did mention about this setup here. I said that price would come down and possibly created an inverted head and shoulders, and that is exactly what has happened. But it did not reach our pending order, which is fine, which has now become a failed one, and now that it's going back up and forming a flag structure. So that is another great reasons why I should hold on to my trade for my targets to hit. So, but when it gets to the middle, maybe I'll start looking for some management, or when it goes. But this one is sort of like a long term decision that I'm making, and when I saw the opportunity, I started looking for a swing entry, and finally got in, and I'm expecting it to go my way. So the key point to this was patience, and I was able to exercise enough patience for price to push in my favor. Euro USD is the same. I was mentioning yesterday that I do prefer that Euro USD to close below this line daily, that we can be looking for a sell, but that never happens anyway. So instead we got a buy trade, so there's a chance that it's now going for this red line here that I did mention. I said we need to have a retest to this high price here, to this previous high, and that is what is happening right now. So there's a chance that this is going to happen anyway. I mean, the target is going to be hit before we can look for a new sell trade. So for now, more or less of a bullish movement we are having. So is any question regarding this before I start placing some of my trades? Just a moment, please. One moment. All right. Now, so the euro excuse me. The euro excuse me. The euro CHF that has been mentioned. Um, even though I've explained a bit, it's been a few weeks now that we've been emphasizing how we expect euro CHF to take a move to the upside, and of course, we did had some great movement, and currently euro CHF right here did create some value movement, and of course, currently it's likely that it's gonna come down and retest, but we don't know how deep it could go. But based on my analysis, I am looking at price retesting back to this low here. In fact, it might also come lower to this point here as well. It might also want to excuse me, might also want to come back to this support level here, but my expectation is that could bounce off based on euro itself. So euro itself has created a bit of strong momentum, but CHF it's not having it at all. It's not having it. So currently, I'm waiting to see how the reaction to break this support level will hold. So I'm talking about daily time frame versus 4-hour time frame. So looking at this channel here, and I'm waiting for price to come back. There's a chance that it's gonna take this trend line out, yet it could also go lower and react to this low here. Excuse me. So in that sense, I am looking for a bounce off from there. So something like price coming to this trend line. Of course, it can also breach out, which is part of why it could be a fake out and later become a proper trend to the upside. But overall, what we're doing is trying to stay within this channel up. Then having this move to the downside, we create another movement to the upside. Now if it wants to go lower than that, that's also okay, and so therefore most of our break-evens will be triggered, and there's a chance that I might spot that after I see what this price is doing. I might also delete my buy limit, or maybe I will leave it and reduces my lot size instead, and allow excuse me, and allow the trade to go my way. Excuse me, if you don't mind, I need to get something to drink. Just a moment before I proceed. All right, so are you with me, traders? That was a dry throat. All right, that's fine. Okay, so I mentioned about Euro CHF already regarding how I do expect market to move. So currently, if I scroll down, these are my trades that I just triggered today, and some of them are running at the port of entry. I have Euro GBP card, Euro card. I have card CHF, and of course another Euro card as well. And all these trades just triggered during the fundamental now, and I have some pending orders that are trading currently in my favor, and which will be looking to break even them, and those ones that are just triggered as well, and to had their stop loss in place, and of course NZDC, NZD to look for opportunity to buy, and not to buy instantly, but to start looking for area where we should be thinking of buying, or maybe we should wait till next week. Looking at the fundamentals that we have next week's, I can also play another part as well. And of course, I'm also thinking of Euro GBP as well, and if we should close the trades that are running, and then just leave the pending order, and so they all can trigger. So every reasons is on the table to ensure that this volatility that is running right now should be a one that will possibly end within 3 days, which means that if the market switches itself at some point, we are also ready for it. I am ready for it. So, and we will be able to manage and counter trade and be able to come back with a beautiful profit ratio. But nevertheless, it has always been profitable anyway. So just have to exercise excuse me, have to exercise enough patience for that. Alright, GBP card is struggling anyway, but I do believe that it's going to struggle and it's going to come down. The other one as well is Euro NZD. I don't have it on my chart right now, but I should have it actually. Euro NZD should be another one that I am looking forward to, but somehow I'm not sure why I don't have it here. And so yeah, there you go. So I do also have Euro NZD that I am also targeting, and although all I want Euro NZD to do is to come back up a little bit, and I forgot to place its pending order, but what I'm going to do is to wait and to re-evaluate properly, but making sure that when the price does come out and come to that area of entry, I do actually see what I'm seeing. But I'm thinking also to allow it to come out first and to see the reaction before I react. So then I want this previous high to be broken. And if you remember 2 weeks ago, when we had our 24 hours trading, I was mentioning about Euro NZD that although I wanted to come down, we booked a profit for that trade anyway. So, but I mentioned that day that there is a chance that it might want to push up. So we will be setting a pending order, and I think we did, right, traders, isn't it? Excuse me. we set the pending order for Euro NZD, and we did set one for GBP NZD as well, but we deleted it because profit was taken. Yeah. So, and now there is a chance that Euro NZD might want to push higher. So if it wants to push higher, I want to see that reaction. So what we were expecting it to do back then, maybe it wants to do it now, and so it can trigger that our pending order area. But I will not put my pending order. I will wait for it to react. I want to see before I then react. So that's what I want to do with that. But for GBP I do see reasons, although we do have a pending order for that as well. And in fact, this one is still there. I left it there and it's still there up to today. Yeah, so I never took it off. But so I'm expecting it maybe still want to do that. Okay, based on that. But Euro NZD is kind of a bit skeptical, so, and therefore I want to leave it to do whatever I want to do. Yet there's a chance that this price could fall, because I don't really see the reason why GBP NZD wants to go higher. But of course it needs to retest this zone, so I will look forward to that. Right. So the individual that requested about Chameleon is still here, because we have to switch screen, and if we switch screen, the software we are using is magneted to this chart itself. So if the person is still here, then we have to switch platform. So who has for the Chameleon? Are you still here? Okay, so because it is a YouTube, I'll prefer, we're going to end this session. Okay, we're going to end this session, and the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to actually, we don't have to end this session. In fact, I think so, because I want to continue streaming this for now. Yeah, even though I will not be speaking that much, so I can go muted on this one, and we will go on Discord instead. Yeah, we will go on Discord. Have you been to the Discord live session before? So we're going to do a quick explanation on that, on Chameleon, because Chameleon is on TradingView. It's not on MetaTrader or CTrader. It's not on it. So I can explain that, and you can ask your questions too there. So I ask again, have you been in the Discord channel? I mean the live session. Do you know how to get to the live session? Thank you for the GBP NZD. Yes, that was a good price point that you mentioned there. Okay, all right. And Monique, about the bar chart, sorry, I'm used to candlesticks. Well, to be fair, there is nothing different really when we talk about candlestick, Monique. Yeah, when we talk about candlestick versus bar chart, visually there is a difference. Okay, visually, for me personally, visually there is a difference. Okay, technical analysis, there is no difference. There is no difference really. Okay, there is no difference. So I'm just liking bar chart, but of course, because I do train a lot of traders, and which actually have of course they're used to candlesticks, so I use candlesticks most of the time. But when I'm alone, I preferred bar chart. yeah, I prefer bar chart. So I'm not alone now, but my chart was alone before. Yeah, if you know what I mean, Monique. Yeah. All right. So I am going to mute this meeting here. So is that okay, traders, if we go in Discord, and so I can show this gentleman um, Chameleon? Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. No, no, no. All right. I'll see you in Discord. Okay. Um, you can always come back to YouTube whenever you want to, and yeah. But just so you know, as I'm navigating to Discord, I'll be muted on YouTube. All right, we're back on, and the most important here is to allow market to sink as much as it wants to do. And we all know that the market does have its own time, and is having it right now. So situation like this can come, especially cat CHF could make another mean spike to the downside, but with this setup that we have right here, we cannot miss that. This setup right here, we cannot miss that. And that is when we can take approach with how we want the market to move, reducing our risk so we have enough equity to withstand this movement to the downside. It's just a small lot size anyway. So pending the time, I'll continue to wait and monitor the market. So for emotional traders, start jumping in that direction, thinking there is a lot to make towards that direction. But if we have jumped in early, then there is a good reason. But right now, we just want to let it sink. And therefore, my pending orders for Euro CHF, I am going to close it and I will await what the market wants to look like around this channel. Yeah. So I am going to close my positions as well, but not now. Before, probably before the market closes, I will close my position as well. The previous trade running. Now Euro NZD, like I said, I'm gonna leave it running. Then GBP NZD, I am going to leave it. I believe it will still come back here next week to retest the high before we have a drop. GBP card, if you notice, GBP card held on to that resistance and it's been waiting since then, a couple of pips. So whatever it is, we may have a bit of push next week, and after that we might get a sell trade to downside. But of course, my sell limit that is above here, I am going to take it off because I have enough sell limit already. And therefore I will adjust my stop loss because of the spread over the weekend, and I will reduce my entry because the one that are very close to the current market right now, I am going to shut it down and to close it so I can have I can leave the ones below and see how the market would react on Monday first because of the spread. So trying to reduce the risk now, because these ones, they are very, very close to the entry, so there is not too much for me to do other than to close it. And this is the reaction about being able to think quick and yet being able to make a strong decision and knowing that you haven't involved any emotion, so which won't become rational. Instead, it will become I will put it as a consistent decision, because the same decision will make it again and again and again. So I'll reduce my pending order. I was hoping that the reaction will make effect immediately and reverses, but at this point it's spending much time here, so you might want to look for a reason why to push a little bit higher and just take out this tiny high, and later on, we get a sell to the downside. So I'm going to close that. Euro card will remain this way. I will not touch that because that one was already calculated, and the rest I'm going to leave for now. I'm going to leave it for now, and until next week before I will make an attempt. Yeah. Yeah, NZUSD as well. Yes, I'm going to wait. Yeah, GBP USD, there is a strong chance that it's gonna hit TP anyway, but of course that will be next week maybe, so I will leave that one to run. Then Euro USD, I did not jump in that buy trade. Well, it's a bit shameful, but I'll leave it that way. But knowing that the market was expected to go up or down, I was waiting for this to close, as I mentioned yesterday, but of course I did not jump in that trade. So overall, that's it for today. I'll still leave this program running this way, but I will not be speaking. I just want to let you know, but time to time I will keep navigating. So for the next 1 hour, exactly 1 hour, then this session will end permanently. Yeah, because right now the Europe banks has closed, so I'm not expecting too much. Alright, thank you traders for joining. I appreciate. Yeah, thank you again. I'll see you next week.